Hey, look who it is. These batteries are incredible. We're gonna have to do a video about these batteries. But for now, it's probably that time. It is that time. Let me button up this battery and we'll get to it. Welcome to Coffee with Indy. Welcome friends to Coffee with Indy, where your friends here at Indy break down a topic of interest to the energy storage industry in 90 seconds or less. To keep us honest this week, we're putting ourselves on the clock. Topic for this week, ITC inclusion of energy storage has emerged again. First proposed around 4 years ago, it's back, and the House of Representatives passed the Green Act just a couple weeks ago, which would make energy storage ITC eligible, also extending the ITC ramp down by 5 years and creating a direct payment option for tax credit as opposed to the typical tax equity approach. It is a partisan proposal from the Democrats, so not really sure it goes anywhere yet again, but it is on the docket. At this juncture, is the ITC for energy storage necessary or even a good thing? First up to break this one down is our fighting Irishman, John Mitchell. John, you got 90 seconds. Go!
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everyone, John here. So yeah, on the storage only ITC topic, I actually think I have two conflicting points of view on this one. So obviously we do quite a lot of revenue modeling and project economic modeling, and that's something I've done throughout my career. And I think the idea of a storage only ITC would be fantastic for individual project economics on a post-tax IRR basis. However, I think if you look at the overall macro trend that a kind of an increase in storage development caused by ITC would create, then there could be an issue of oversaturation. So a lot of storage economic assessments are based on forecasting of historic ancillary services and energy arbitrage potential. And I think if you flood the market with energy storage, it would apply a massive downward pressure on those historic revenue streams. And even though you do have an ITC, your revenue might be massively overstated, and it could get you in trouble as longer the project goes on. So it's kind of a double-edged sword there. I would say one fantastic element of it would be the direct pay piece, and that applies to PV also. It would kind of lessen the burden for particularly smaller developers to need a tax equity partner to monetize the ITC. So that bit I'm in favor of across the board. But like I said, I think there's a pros and cons to a storage-only ITC. I actually recently wrote an article on this on my LinkedIn. If you want to check it out, it's on the featured post section. But in general, I think it would be a good thing, but sometimes you can have too much of a good thing. So we'll see what happens.
Great stuff, John. You were a little bit over on time, but overall, that answer was a winner. Next up is the one and only Evan Turry. Evan, you got 90 seconds. Go!
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
Hey y'all, it's a packed week, so we're taking this one on the go. I just put in the order for my coffee so I can enjoy mine while you enjoy yours. Put it in at a place called Summer Moon close by. Wood fire roasted beans. Amazing. You come by the office, I'll get you some. All right. Storage ITC. The crux of the matter is this. Every application for energy storage helps enable more and higher penetration of renewables on the grid. So storage ITC helps us achieve our national goals. I think the CPP was 30% reduction in CO2 emissions from generation by 2030. So does it help us achieve those goals? For sure. Is it necessary for storage economics today? No. There are places all through the US, RTOs and ISOs, but also in vertical regulated utility space with storage IRRs in the mid-teens, high teens. You know, just as way of comparison, you have solar 20-year levered IRR in the 5.5% or so. You have storage that's triple that. Now, is there some merchant exposure in some of those? True. Does your merchant exposure matter much when you have 3 to 4 year simple payback and everything else after that is upside? Not so much. Limits your exposure. You get your returns quick. So, storage ITC, helpful for achieving our goals? Yes. Necessary for storage economics? No. But it does expand the reach of where standalone storage would be economic today. All right, I'm gonna get going and get that coffee. I'll catch y'all later.
My man! You can definitely chew gum and walk at the same time. Nice multitasking. You had my heart rate up too in anticipation of those jewels you just dropped on us. And you made the time. That's a tough one to follow, but I'll try. Last but not least, you have yours truly, Eric Strock. Eric, you have 90 seconds. Go!
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
ITC for storage. Is it needed or even a good thing? I find myself conflicted on this one. Let me illustrate my conflict with a story that takes us back to 2011. In the spring of 2011, I was on the Hawaiian island of Lanai, which is a little remote paradise just west of Maui. With a population of 3,000 people and no stoplights, feels like a little remote paradise. Oh, Lanai. In 2009, a 1.2 megawatt solar PV was built on the island, and while this sounds small, the cool thing about this plant is the average island load was about the size of the plant. All of the load was supplied by diesel generators, some of which were housed in rail cars to allegedly get around some emission requirements. Don't worry, they were peaker units and not operated all that often. Given the size of this solar PV plant relative to the island load, a battery system was put in to mitigate the solar variability. In an unusual form, an engineering consultant was hired to study Lanai's arrangement, and they came up with a list of requirements that were then contracted by the utility with the battery system. The island was small, and I got to know the power plant operators and kept in touch with them after the project. As time went on, I learned how little the battery was doing for them. PV output just moved too fast, and some other support services they needed weren't being provided at all. The battery was absolutely capable of providing, but adjusting anything at that point was mired in legal contracts and not possible. The point of the story is there was a lot of value left on the table with the storage system, and my hesitation with subsidies or tax credits is it can push projects forward where true value isn't being provided. Storage can work right now in a lot of places sans subsidies if you're doing it right, which means getting your cost structures right and being clever about how you operate. Overall, the human collective, we need to be doing more to clean up our energy mix. So with that last point in mind, with some hesitation, I say it'd be a net good thing. Delicious. Well, friends, that brings another coffee break to a close. If you have an opinion or a suggestion for a future topic on a future coffee break, leave a comment below. Overall, ITC or no ITC, they're a big place for storage today. So hit us up if you need help figuring out the specifics. If you've already got your game plan, we have an energy management system for storage that you definitely want to see. So hit us up for an EMS demo or just a chat over coffee. We'd love to connect. So for now, today is the day, the time is now. Be good, my friends. Now let's get back to work. Woo!
Kane is in the building.
Alright, already the show goes on all night till the morning.